from all over the world who join, whether it's every day or every other day or once a year. So you are in the right place. We'll be here for about 45 minutes. At the very end of the meditation, we'll invite you to share if you care to. If you want to right now, you can say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're from. Right now, there are almost 90 people on the call, and there will be others watching via YouTube and on Facebook. And you can always join us on Zoom by visiting feastforthesoul.org. So I'm very excited to introduce to you Sue Cooper, who's in Nottingham, who we couldn't do this without her this year, and I'm so grateful to her. Founder of Moments of Vast Mindfulness, momworld.org. So Sue, welcome. It's good to see you here again. Good evening.
Oh, good evening or good morning to you, Sarah, and hi to everybody wherever you are in the world, morning, lunchtime or evening. And it's an absolute delight to be part of this Feast for the Soul, not only to participate in terms of leading meditations, but actually to participate in being a meditator and being guided by so many incredible people. And it just gets better and better every day. Because today I'm so excited to introduce you to the monastery. And the monastery is in Manchester. It's a Franciscan monastery. And sitting in the monastery is our hostess for this evening, or today, Dr. Jeannine Goh. And Jeannine is a passionate psychologist who also teaches yoga, mysticism, and meditation. And at the monastery, she's the director of the Sanctuary of Peace and Healing. And she's got a deep interest in the self and the power of inner silence. She's also an author of her book is called the Enchanted Child book. So I am going to invite Jeannine to introduce your own meditation, because coming from you, but I think it's also going to be wonderful because the mystery of what is behind you is so intriguing for many who haven't visited the monastery. Sarah led a meditation there 2 years ago, as did Susie. So we're familiar with it. And I know Sue Reed's on the call as well, but let's hear from you now, Jeannine. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, and to also anybody else who's there with you. Over to you.
Thank you, and hello everybody. It's lovely to see everyone's smiling faces from all around the world, which is just so exciting. And Sarah, thank you so much, and Sue, for inviting us to take part in the Feast for the Soul on day 38 as well, which is wonderful. And a warm welcome to everybody, virtually I know, to this wonderful, beautiful Franciscan monastery. I know it's a little bit dark and that you can't see me so well, but we wanted to light up the nave and the altar, and you can see behind me how beautiful it is. And with me is Elaine, the CEO, and we've got Cheryl, also working at the monastery, and we've got Jill. The three wise ladies are behind us and with us today. And I was telling Sue and the team that just before we started, we have a tuning fork with the resonance 528 hertz, and we've been round and we've hit every pillar in the nave with the resonance and the vibration of love. And sitting above each of the pillars, we've got some saints, and I'll try and give you a little, I so want you all to be here. I'm going to try and show you. Can you see the saints that sit above the pillars? All the way along. And you can just get a little bit idea of the size of where we're sitting. It's the same dimensions as Solomon's temple, and sitting within Gorton in Manchester. So you can see it's the most beautiful, beautiful sacred space. And anyone who comes in here just has such a feeling of peace, a feeling that all the worries and stresses of life could just be left at the door. It's like when you close the doors of the monastery and you come in to this vast space, you can be in complete peace, you know, and it just has that natural resonance and feeling within it. So unusually today in the meditation that I'm going to share with you, we're going to go, and I don't normally do a visualization, but it came to me in the week how beautiful it would be for us to do a visualization where we come around the monastery and come into the nave to be together in this space. And so we're going to be doing something along those lines. And I thought, when you come into the monastery, there's a welcome wing. And I know for so many of you, because you've never been, visualizing what a monastery could even be, you know, it might be a little bit tricky, but you just let your imagination, you know, run wild. Whatever the idea of a monastery conjures up in your mind, it is a deconsecrated building. So, you know, a monastery, this safe space, something beautiful for all of us. And when you come into the welcome wing, you can see in the center, there's a courtyard garden, a beautiful courtyard garden. They used to hold a physics garden there for the monks. And around the courtyard garden, there's the cloisters. It's like a corridor that goes round. And then you come into this great nave. So within the visualization, we'll explore that. And when we come into the nave within the visualization, we will sit within silence. And I think as we've been really during the pandemic, when the monastery's been closed, we've been really digging deep within ourselves, within what our city needs, and also what a modern day monastery means, a deconsecrated monastery, you know, this beautiful building and what it can be for people. And two things have come out of that. One is the importance of silence. And silence is, to me, is almost like when you bury beneath all the thoughts or beneath all the religions, it's almost a space, an entity of its own right and its own realm, where we're not telling anyone what to believe or who to be. We're just within that space. So it's a non-prescriptive space for us to all share. And the other thing that we're going to be holding an hour's silence at the monastery every day, 12 to 1, which will be digitally screened as well. So you'll be able to join us from all around the world between 12 and 1 when we relaunch in June to share within that silence with us. And the other thing that's come out of the silence that we've been in is the importance of listening. And I read the other day, or I found out the other day, that the words silent and listen have got the same letters in them, which is quite amazing, really. It's like this literally silence and then this really, really acute listening. And listening within, listening to one another. And we're opening also a listening service, a narrative center at the monastery, where we're making a promise to the people of Manchester that there'll always be someone at the monastery to listen, bear witness, love, and be there for you. So very simple offerings, but very beautiful from within this sacred space. So that's a little bit, I didn't say very much about me, but when you're sitting in a building as phenomenal as this, it's all we want to talk about. Okay, so are you happy to begin the meditation then? Okay, I'm going to begin by lighting a candle, just to open up the sacred space. So I invite you all to, whether you're sitting, whether you're lying, standing, however you are, just to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, if you want to, just let your eyes gently come to close. Not squeezing them, just like shutters that come down. Let the eyes rest back in the sockets. Let the jaw become soft. We hold so much tension in the face. Letting the jaw become soft. The tongue become soft. letting the shoulders rest down. As the body starts to soften and rest, we can feel the body becoming heavier, the bones becoming heavier. And we feel the support of wherever we're touching the ground. If you're seated, you can feel as the bones become heavier, that you sit a little more in the sitting bones. If you're lying down, you'll feel the feeling of the earth supporting you. You're feeling the earth as we rest down. Soft smile underneath the lips. Lets the breath come in more easily. It softens the throat and brings this feeling of gentleness to the whole of the body, the whole of the being. Taking another bigger inhalation. And then as you exhale, just let everything go, let everything soften, everything rest back. Breathing in again. Exhale, let everything soften, everything relax. And then just being aware of the sense of the physical body. Noticing where the physical body's connecting with the ground, with the seat. Noticing the sensation of the skin that's in contact with the air and how it differs from that in contact with the ground or the seat. Just being aware of the physical body, just sat, rested. Nothing to do, the muscles starting to relax. Soft smile underneath the lips. And then we bring our awareness to the breath. And not doing anything in particular to the breath, but just noticing the undulating inhalation and exhalation. Just flowing through the physical body. Every time you exhale, the body softening and relaxing a little more. As you're breathing in, it's almost like the energy, the prana is going to every cell in the body, opening. And then as you exhale, everything softens, everything rests back. So a sense of the body, a sense of the breath, and then taking your awareness to the mind. And without judgment, without going into it, just exploring how the mind is. Is it jumping all over? Is it rested back? No judgments, no rights and wrong, just listening, observing. And as we inhale again, as we exhale, we give permission for the mind to rest back. When the mind rests back, the brain moves slightly back, even the two parts of the brain moving slightly apart, space around the brain. Everything moving back, moving back. When we get stressed, everything moves forward. The eyes are resting back. The whole of your being resting back. We've got the big backbone to hold us, connect us from the earth to the heavens. Feeling that security, that safeness, just to relax back. Then if we bring our awareness to the point between the eyebrows, and sometimes when we say that, there's a feeling to bring the eyes forward, but keep them back, open, wide. The eyes still closed. And just taking a few breaths there again. And then we're moving into a visualization that you've just arrived at this beautiful, beautiful monastery. You're looking up at this huge building, spire stretching up to the heavens, the stones of the monastery, strong, holding down into the ground. You open the door to the monastery and you walk in, and there's a welcome wing welcoming you in, and you have this feeling that you belong there, that you stepped into this space. It's almost like coming home. As you step through the doors, you're aware of the fact that you can leave everything going on in your life behind. It's not going to go anywhere, but all your worries, stresses, work, just leaving at the door. As you step forward, you notice that there's a circle made of leaves and flowers on the ground. You step into that circle, and as you step into that circle, it's almost like this feeling comes through the body of just the most beautiful serenity, just like an emptying of all your worries, all your stresses, emptying. And then you look to the right and you notice that there's a window and you can see a beautiful square courtyard garden. And as you start walking to the courtyard garden, you notice that there's a corridor. In fact, there's a corridor, the cloisters, that go all the way round the square garden. And you feel to start walking the cloisters, looking at the architecture of this beautiful building. Your eyes being drawn into this almost like magical Garden of Eden in the center. A little robin flies and comes to sit on the window. You can see the trees through the window. But you feel to keep walking the cloisters. When you walk down the cloister, then you turn left as you're walking around the square of the garden. Turning left again, walking all the way around the garden, till on your right you come to some big, big wooden thick doors. You open the doors, and then you step in, feeling again like more burdens. Anything that you're carrying in your life is just left at the door. As you turn and then you close the doors, you hear the sound as the doors close echo because you're in the great nave, looking up in wonder and in awe at this tremendous, huge space, the dimensions of Solomon's temple, the spaciousness of the space as you look up seems to fill your body, creating such space in the mind, in the body, in your whole being. It's almost like thoughts can't even exist in here. You take a few moments just to look around the vastness of the space, noticing the 12 saints above the pillars. And just at that point, the sun comes through the window and it lights every saint up. You look to the floor and there's almost like a staircase of light leading out in front of you up to the altar. As you look up the light, the staircase of light, in the center of the monastery laid down is a labyrinth made of the most beautiful flowers and leaves. You start to slowly walk through the labyrinth, a type of unfurling, a type of unwinding, a detangling. As you come around the labyrinth and then come to be seated in the center. You take some breaths, just breathing in the energy of the space, the most beautiful peace and silence, the resonance of love emanating all around the space. That space entering in through your heart and creating that space within, filling it with the vibration of love. You smile and feel almost the most relaxed, beautiful, calm and serene that you've ever felt. And then you decide to take just a few minutes of silence to just feel and be within this amazing energy. So you take a deep breath. As you exhale, you soften and just drift into that silence, that pause at the end of the exhalation. Doing it one more time, and then we'll go into a 3-minute silence together. Feeling the silence to be so restful, so replenishing, so healing. The sound of sweet serenity, soft smile underneath the lips, enjoying the texture, knowing that we can always pull from that deep well of stillness within us. And then we hear the sound of a chime resonating through the nave. We listen again as the chime is struck, listening to the very last moment to when it falls into silence. The resonance of love we feel emanating round the space, opening our hearts. We take a breath in, we feel the heart opening, we feel the chest opening, we feel the space, the love filling every cell of the body. We rise from our seated position in the nave, move through the large doors that we closed, and we can see the remnants of some of the thoughts and the worries no longer bothering us. As we walk past them, we feel that we have to go into the garden. We walk through the gate into the garden, and this beautiful, full of viriditas, juicy, beautiful garden, green, lush. The big trees growing up, the branches spreading to heaven, the roots deep in the earth, just like ourselves, deep roots into the earth, rising to the heavens with our big hearts in between. Just as we have that thought, the sun again shines upon us, and the little robin that we saw lands on our shoulder. We see the physics garden and we move over and we pick up a piece of lavender between the fingers. We rub it and we smell it, the sweetest, most beautiful, calming perfume and aroma that we've ever smelled. Smiling, feeling the air, feeling the fresh air on our face, like we're reborn. The robin flies off into the sky, into the more of the expansive space. We take the lavender with us in the pocket, and we move to the entrance where we came in, back through the gate, through the welcome wing. And we stand again in that little circle of flowers and leaves where we first began. And as we stand there, the monastery has one more gift for you before we leave today. As we stand there and we're breathing, we feel the heart opening. We feel the lungs moving forward, the heart moving forward with the inhalation, moving back with the exhalation. We take our awareness down to the heart center, and we notice there's a little figure there, a little tiny figure sitting within our heart space. And as you look, that figure looks so serene, enlightened, so calm, so happy. This beautiful, beautiful figure. As you look more closely at the figure, you see that it's you, sitting there so calm, smiling, rested, in complete serenity, in complete peace. Like you've got your own monastery there holding you all the time in that sacred, safe space that we find at the center of our being. The walls of the monastery, internally within that space, protecting us, holding us, that we can retreat to at any moment. The little figure starts to become a little bigger, starts to become a little bigger within you, growing within you until it takes the exact size and shape of your body. You are that serene, beautiful figure that you saw. You are love. You open the doors to leave the monastery, even though you have it still within you, in all of your hearts. You turn to close them, and in your own way, take a few moments just to give thanks to whatever comes. Soft smile underneath the lips. We become aware of ourselves seated in our own homes or wherever we are for the Feast of Hope meditation tonight, or today, or morning, wherever we are in the world. We take some breaths and we return to the breath within our own body. Seeing how our minds feel now. Feeling the breath in the body and the relaxing exhalation. Becoming aware of the body seated or lying. The sensation of the body, the sense of the body, the same feeling of the parts of the body that are in contact with the floor or with the chair as to the feeling of the air. Taking a few breaths as we come back into our bodies, into our chairs where we're seated. Maybe moving the fingers or the toes, moving the body a little. And then together, letting the head come forward, bowing the head, feeling the weight of the head, the length of the neck, moving the head slightly from side to side. You can feel that lovely stretch on the shoulders if you're seated down. If you're lying down, you might like to come to seated and let the head bow, feeling the weight of the head. And then if you can just slowly keep the head bowed though. Slowly let the eyes come to open. And then I just want to teach a little heart mudra. The hands are so powerful, and the hands are also an extension of the heart. And if you take the back of the hands together, and we'll do it a few times just so that you could feel, and you bring your hands up And then with an exhalation, you make this beautiful flower shape, the heart love. Breathing in. And then as you exhale, blow the hands out. Everything that you say in the frequency of love. Breathing in, turn the hands over and round, and exhale, love, that frequency of love into everything you think. Breathing in, a big breath, take the hands up, exhale, encircling yourself in a ring of silence and love. Bringing the hands back in, and we'll do that one more time. Take the hands to here, breathing in, exhale, make that beautiful gift of love flower in your hands. Breathing in, exhale into all you say and offering it out to the world. Breathing in, into all you think. And then feeling the feet on the ground, not standing up, but going through the feet. And as you breathe in, take the hands up to the heavens, exhale, opening the magnificent heart as we bring the hands into the prayer and namaste, beautiful ones, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeannine. I think we'll stop the recording now and